Okay, so today we are going to do the second kind of shape that you'll see this year, which is a triangle. Now, this is not a new shape by any means. You've seen these in many different forms, as you can see from this paper. But we are going to talk about the formula today, just like we did with a parallelogram. Now, just like with a parallelogram, a triangle has its own definition that we may struggle coming up with. A triangle is a 2D polygon with 3 straight sides. There's no curves in a triangle. And 3 angles. Now, you'll do angles quite a bit in 7th grade, but we don't really do anything with angles in 6th grade other than our 90-degree angle that we really try and focus on, okay? Now, what's funny about triangles is that a triangle is half of a parallelogram. And that's exactly how we're going to make our formula today as well. We're going to note that a triangle is exactly half of a parallelogram. Okay? So when we make our formula, it's basically going to be the exact same as a parallelogram that we did yesterday, which is base times height. But as you can see, I've left a little bit of room here in the middle, and that's because we need the half part. And that comes in right at the beginning. You need to multiply it by a half in order to have the triangle instead of a parallelogram. Okay? Now, A in this situation represents area, just like it did yesterday. B represents base, just like it did yesterday. And H represent height, just like it did yesterday. Now, just like yesterday as well, the base and the height are always going to be perpendicular, just like yesterday. Now, if you'll remember from yesterday as well, that means it creates a 90-degree angle, or that little square that we were looking for yesterday. This little square. So go ahead and make that bold on your papers as well, just like we did yesterday, all 4 of those little squares. Because that little square is how we're going to find our base and our height. So if I take a look at this first one, this little square is touching this line and this line. Typically, our base is at the bottom, and our height is the one going straight up and down. Same thing with this one. This line is touching my square, and this line is touching my square. So this is going to be my base, and this is going to be my height. Now, as you can see from this triangle right here, it's kind of tipped on its side. So if I turned my paper to match that, this would look a little bit more normal. So now my base is at the bottom where I'm used to it, and my height is going straight up and down. But it's still touching this square. I do not care about these sides because they are not touching that little square. Let's flip our paper back to normal. And then we have our base and our height. Okay? Now let's try using that formula that we just created to find the area of this triangle right here. Okay? Now, the first thing I'm going to do, just like yesterday, is write the formula. So area equals half base times height. We know that a variable next to a variable means to multiply, and we know that a number next to a variable means to multiply. So this says a half times base times height. Area equals 1/2. That doesn't change. And my base on this one, given my little box, is 5. So I'm going to write times 5 times my height, which is 4. So I'm going to write times 4. Now, this is the part where you would just type it into your calculator. So go ahead and type that in. 1/2 times 5 times 4. Okay? And then when you get the answer, it should be area equals 10. And then just like yesterday, you have to have your label. Okay, so we have 10 centimeters squared. Just like that. Let's try it again with some triangles that look a little bit different than that one. So the first thing we're going to do is write the formula just like we always do. Area equals half times base times height. Okay? Now, to find our base and our height, let's look at our little box. This 6 centimeters is touching my box, and this 4 centimeters is touching my box, which means I do not care about this 5 and I do not care about that 5. Those numbers were put there to confuse me. Do not let them do it. So we have area equals 1/2 times my base, which is 6, times my height, which is 4. And then again, this is where you would type it into your calculator, so go ahead and type that in. 1/2 times 6 times 4. And that gives you area equals 12. And we're still dealing with centimeters on this one, so it is centimeters squared. Okay? Let's try this last one. Start with our formula, just like we've been doing. Area equals 1/2 times base times height. And then we have area equals, you're always going to bring down that 1/2, times, let's look at our little box here to figure out where our height and our base are. The only two numbers I have that are touching this box is this 9 meters and this 2 meters. This 7 was here to throw me off, and this 4 was here to throw me off. So my base is either 2 or 9. And as we talked about yesterday, because it's multiplication, it doesn't matter which one comes first. This triangle is technically on its side, so my base is technically 9. Times my height, which is 2. Go ahead and type that into your calculator. 1/2 times 9 times 2. And then once you have that answer, you should get 9 centimeters squared. Oh, just kidding. I was looking at my answer key and it's got centimeters on there. It should be 9 meters. We've got meters on this problem. Okay, let's go ahead and flip to the next page. We've got 4 problems at the top here, and just like yesterday, each of these are going to start with our formula, but this time it's got that 1/2 on there. So let's go ahead and write our formulas to start each problem. Saves us a little bit of time when we actually get to the problem. And then I'm going to zoom in on each problem individually so we can see each one. Okay. So on this one, they only gave us 2 numbers, so I don't even have to do anything. I don't even have to really look at my box here because I know that the only 2 numbers that they gave me are 4 and 4. So that's got to be my base and my height. So area equals 1/2 times 4 times 4. Go ahead and type that into your calculators. Give you guys a few seconds to get that typed in. And that gives us area equals 8 centimeters squared. We're back to centimeters. Now, on this next one, again, it just looks like our triangle was turned upside down, but we don't even have to turn it right side up this time. I've got my box, and I've really only got 2 numbers, so my only options are 4 and 9. So when I write my answer down, area equals 1/2 times, it's upside down, so I'm going to go with 9 as my base, and height is 4. But again, just like last time, it does not matter because of multiplication. Go ahead and type that into your calculator, see what answer you get. 1/2 times 9 times 4. Okay. And when I got my answer, I got an answer of 18 inches squared. Okay. All right, let's check out our next one. Again, they only gave me 2 numbers. When they only give me 2 numbers like this, they make my job real easy. So area equals 1/2 times my base. And really, this could be the base or this could be the base because of the way that the triangle is. We're not really sure which one. So I'm going to pick 17 as my base. Times 12 as my height. If you wrote them down opposite, that's totally fine. Your answer will still be the same as mine. So go ahead and type that in. 1/2 times 12 times 17, or times 17 times 12, whichever one. Okay, and then that should give you an answer of area equals 102 feet squared. And then we only got one more problem left. Well, one more, not word problem anyway. So we've got 10 feet, 10 feet, 12 feet, and 8 feet. Now, they gave me more than two numbers, so that means I'm going to go back to my box. This is the only line touching my box, and this is the only line touching my box. So I only care about these two numbers. So I have area equals 1/2 times my base, and because of the way the triangle is tilted, I'm going to go with 12 as my base, times the height, which I found was 8. And then go ahead and type that into your calculator, just like last time. Area equals 1/2 times 12 times 8. And then we should have gotten area equals 48 feet squared from that. Feet squared. Okay? Now, we only got two questions left. Two questions. Sorry, I got you excited with the one question, but we got two questions left. Tim is building a birdhouse. One wall is shaped as a right triangle. The dimensions of this wall are pictured. That's this picture that they gave us here. What is the area of this part of the birdhouse? Okay, well, this is a triangle, and the area that we've been given for triangles is 1/2 times base times height. So that's what I'm going to write down. And then I'm going to write down what they've given me. And because of my little box here and the only two numbers they gave me my base and my height. So I'm going to write times 12 times 7.5. And then go ahead and type that in. Give you guys a few seconds for that one. And then tell me what you get. Oh, just kidding. Sorry. I'm so used to people responding to me when I do that it didn't even occur to me that you could not tell me what it is. You guys have a little extra time on this one because I'm still typing this one in. I got an answer of 45 inches squared. That gave me this area of this part of the birdhouse, which means that's my answer. All right, let's head to our last one. A triangular road has a height of 3 feet and a base of 2.5 feet. How much larger is the area in area is this sign than one with a height of 2.5 and a base of 3 feet? So the first thing I'm going to do is draw what they told me. So they told me a triangular road sign with a height of 3 feet. So I'm going to make this the height, 3. And a base of 2.5. So that gives me this, 2.5. And then they said the other sign, so I'm going to draw that one over here, with a height of 2.5 and a base of 3. So these aren't the same triangles. I kind of drew them the same shape, but because of the dimensions, they're not the exact same. Okay? So we got to find the area of each of these. So let's start with my one on the left. Area equals 1/2 times base times height. So on this one, they told me that 1/2 times my base, which was 2.5, times my height, which was 3. Go ahead and type that one into your calculator. I already have this one typed in, so I don't have to type it in. And then on that one, you should have gotten an answer of 3.75 feet squared. Now we need to know how much larger this area is. So we've got to find the area of this one as well. Area equals 1/2 times base times height. And then on this one, it said my base was 3. So times 3. And my height was 2.5. So times 2.5. Go ahead and type that into your calculator. Now, without typing into your calculator, we should notice something that we've gone over a couple of times. This problem right here and this problem right here are the exact same because of the commutative property. Because it's multiplication, you can move stuff around and it's not going to change the answer. So after you typed it in, you should have realized that the answer is 3.7 feet squared. Now, this question says how much larger in area is this sign than this sign? And we can't answer that because they are the same. Okay? And that's the area of triangle notes for today. You guys can go ahead and get started on the assignment. It will be due on Friday, so that will keep you from library day if you do not get it done. Watch that, okay?